You're watching Ultravision TV and I'm Sandra Ewers, and we have been joined by a lady who's been described as phenomenal and the reigning queen of selector of Lovers Rock. Welcome, Lady TLC.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you for having me.
Brilliant. Well, listen, Lady TLC, look, for me, TLC is tender loving care.
And
now,
that's
what is that the name?
Yeah, and that's who I am. I was given that name by a DJ a long time ago, Hector Selector, back in the 90s, because I'm very tender, I'm very loving, and I'm very caring.
I like that. Gosh, you knew DJs were like that.
Oh yeah.
But tell me, how did it all start? How did this DJing start? I want to know.
Raving a lot of raving. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, there wasn't that many females around and about. We had DJ Lane, obviously.
Of course, yes.
And I was really inspired by her. So that's where my DJing passion came from. I love music, and I feel that as a female,
yes,
and 90% of our audience in a club or in a party is females, I think I can more suit to them.
And what about culturally? I mean, for me, when I was a child, I was in my mum's front room and I was, I'm going to say, playing records, so I'm showing my age here.
Yeah,
were you like that in that front room playing music? Did you have an ear for it? Did you think, this is me?
My dad was a sound man. As you know, back in when they first came in the 60s, music was the thing in the household.
Of course.
Being the youngest child and spoiled, my dad would encourage me to listen to music. So I grew up on the Desmond Deckers of this world, you know, Israelites. And,
love that tune.
You know, so I learned, and Johnny Nash. So I had an ear for music from then. And one of the things my dad always said is, if you want to do something, you must have it, something that belongs to you. You shouldn't have to borrow.
I like that.
And that's the reason why I got into this business. So
I like that. So
I started to build I know how to build my own sound, my own speak box.
Wow.
Embarrassed to say so.
No, it's not embarrassing, that's so handy.
As a woman.
So what, you say as a woman, what challenges have you had, let's say as a woman, and being a DJ, what challenges have you actually had?
Well, the men are threatened by you. Male DJs are very domineering, and if you aren't strong to stand up to them, they will walk all over you.
Gosh.
So in this business, you have to have tenacity, but also you don't want to come across as unapproachable.
No.
And you don't want to come across as not a team player.
Okay. So I've got a few questions here. And I know you're doing solo work, but when you say solo work, so what, did that mean that in the past you've been working as a group as a DJ?
Yeah, when I started out as a DJ, I used to work with Natty B.
Okay.
Natty is a phenomenal teacher. He taught me everything I needed to know about radio, programming, content, presentation.
Okay.
So that was in the 80s. I started out with Natty B, and then I, as we do, go away and we have families, so I retired, and I put it down. Just played at parties, family events, that sort of thing. And unfortunately in 2012 my mum passed away.
Sorry to hear that.
And music was my saviour.
Wow.
It was my saviour. So the current station I'm on, Station FM, DJ Father Keatley and another DJ that was on there, DJ Specialist, could see I was drowning in grief. So they brought me into Station FM, and kind of the rest of it's where I am now. If it wasn't for my journey on Station FM, I wouldn't be where I am now.
And the solo work, do you prefer that? I mean,
I'm a solo person, but I have no problem working as part of a team.
I like that. And preparing, I don't know whether you still call it a set. How do you prepare, let's say for a show, how do you prepare for that?
So I plan my shows. My shows are always programmed and planned. So I have different segments of my radio show. So I would always start on it, because my Sunday show is my biggest show.
Yes.
Has the most listeners. So we always start the day by blessing the house. So we play gospel, reggae gospel.
I love that.
And a lot of the reggae gospel that's coming out currently, both from the global market as well as the UK, is old school music that we know and love, reggae and Lovers Rock.
It's beautiful.
It's been revamped, but in a gospel style. So I always start my show with gospel music, so I like to play different types. And then we also have a new music segment, which is where I feature new music that's been sent to me during the week from different artists, different producers, to give that opening door and then I feature it every week.
I love that, and my mum is a lover of gospel, so she would enjoy that. But if you're perhaps at an event, do you ever tailor? I mean, have you ever changed your music? You say you've got your set thing, and then you look out in the audience, and you're like, hold on a minute, there's people out there about 70 years old, and perhaps I need to change my tune. Do you ever do that?
Yeah, you have to. You always watch your audience. That's one of the things that Natty taught me, is never look down at your music. You're there to entertain, so keep an eye on your crowd. Look who's moving, look who's sitting, who's not, who looks... So you have to flex, you have to be flexible.
But I often go, I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to a party every week, but if I go to a party and I'm standing up and I'm dancing and the music is great, say you play one song and I'm loving it, should that next song be the same mould? I mean, sometimes the DJ can make me sit down.
Yeah, sometimes you know, it depends on the crowd. Some people have got different tastes. We're not all the same.
No.
We're all different. So you can't always please all, but what you need to be working towards as a DJ is trying to please the majority. So you're watching your crowd.
And if you see a majority dancing, then you think, well, they like that, perhaps I should put something
that
similar.
genre or that beat level, you keep it that level until you start to see people start to sweat and start to flake, then you start to slow it down, you bring it down.
So that's obviously a skill, and that's a skill that we don't see. People think it's just putting some music on. It isn't, is it?
No,
it's
it
big.
isn't. It isn't. So, I mean, you can have good sets and you can have bad sets, and I've had my share of both.
At least you're honest to say that.
I am.
Do you have a favourite song? Do you have a song that I'm going to always stop? I like this song. I want to keep playing this music.
Tears on My Pillow.
Oh gosh, I like that.
Tears on My Pillow. Johnny Nash has been my mantra.
That's really
track,
good.
For me, anyway.
So now you're working as a promoter, I know that, because how does one go from a DJ to being a promoter? How have you done that? And I know that you have grown.
So as a DJ, being a female in this industry, you don't necessarily get bookings from the large promoters, because they will always look to DJs or sound systems or groups of people that pull a crowd.
Right.
So you don't always get the open doors as you'd like to.
It's not as obvious.
No, it's not as obvious. I mean, I'm lucky that I've got one promoter that I've been working with for the last 3 years, and been able to grow through that. So that's Orlando Gittins. So he does Giants of Love's Rock once a year in October. I attend Hailing Island, which is one of the largest soul and reggae weekenders.
I've heard about
that. In March,
That's
and I get to celebrate my birthday there every year.
Wow.
So Orlando's seen a talent in me, and he's nurtured that, and he's always been supportive. So moving into becoming a promoter was to give myself that opportunity to shine, to show my talent. So
this was your idea that, and in terms of promoting, was it trying to see if you could pull in the new talent as well?
Yes.
And I see on because I looked at your website, which I love, and we were talking about it a bit earlier, and you have somebody called Mello and then Tipper Irie, and I was playing the music last night and enjoying it. So did they come to you, and then did you decide you wanted to promote them?
With Melody, he found me on Facebook.
Wow.
My social media platform.
No, but that's why social media is great.
He contacted me, and he was an up-and-coming artist. He's established. He lives in Leeds, so he hasn't got a London fan base. So using my platform allows him to develop that London fan base for him. So I said to him, one of the things that I really like about Mello is that he'll make a tune and he'll always make a video, and that way I can put it on my website to keep the listening public interested, because most of us are visual.
We are visual.
We're all visual.
Yes.
We do like visual, as much as we like auditory. But when you've got that visual content, it brings the individual, the listener, along on that journey.
They're always talking about visual. They're always saying about videos, and it's always important to put yourself out there like that.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of your webpage as well, you now have an award that you sort of promoted in 2018. Tell us all about that. How did it all come about, and why did you decide to do it?
Okay, so I'm going to take you back a little way, sorry.
That's okay.
So back in 2014, I decided that there was no infrastructure in the reggae industry.
Right.
And we weren't moving the way we should be. So I decided, as part of my show, I spoke to the radio station management,
right,
and I decided to do what we call a chart. So we bring back the old style way of doing things. I was very fortunate that I had business associate. That was very, very good with computers, so people were able to go onto my website to vote. This is when it was just Lady TLC.
Oh, okay.
So I kick-started a chart, a monthly chart. So from that, I then decided this isn't sufficient. This was not sufficient.
Right.
So I wanted more. I wanted more for the artists. Not for myself, because it doesn't. I've got my recognition as Lady TLC,
yes.
but for the industry that I love so much. So I then decided. That's when I decided in 2016 I'm going to rebrand myself.
I do like that.
I rebranded Lady TLC, the DJ, and I thought I needed to create an umbrella company that will house everything under it. So TLC Global Media was born in 2017, and that's when we had the first AWSL Music Awards at the launch.
And what was the response to that? Has the response been
it
positive?
was small. I tried it in a small way. In 2017, we had 6 categories, trying it really small. So we had newcomer, UK female, UK male. We had an international artist, which Freddie McGregor was the winner for 2017. I had the pleasure of presenting him with his trophy.
Wow, love that man.
Bridgestock. And then my team, who I've got to say are my children. They are my biggest supporters, my biggest influences in what I do.
That's wonderful. Thank God for those children, because they support me too.
Yeah.
No, but what's been some highlights? What have been, obviously apart from that award, what's been this new award? What has been a highlight?
So we were able to grow it. This year we took it up market. We decided that we wanted to give it its own platform, so we brought it into central London. So this year's awards was held at the Holiday Inn in Bloomsbury.
Wonderful.
They were so impressed, they gave us the next year's date on the spot.
My goodness.
The evening was phenomenal. It was a great evening. You know, our international winner sent us a video, so we were able to play it. So we wanted to make it. I looked at the Grammys and how they put it all together. I looked at the BET Awards. I looked at the our own Brit Awards here, and I wanted to give. I wanted to give our industry something to shine, and that's the highlight for us. And I mean, we've grown. For next year, we've even started now. We're planning in the planning stages,
and it will grow as well. And it's the thing is, it's good to recognise these artists. Now, I did read somewhere that you sort of created your own. You put rhythm, and I looked for this rhythm but couldn't find it
because I haven't put it out on the road.
I was thinking you're a DJ, and I knew, and I thought it must be great. So I was trying to find it.
No, I'm not a producer. Am I right? No. I wanted to test. When you go in. For me, I can't talk for anybody else, but when I go into something, I like to find out the ins and outs, the intricate parts of it. So yes, I'm a DJ first and foremost, and I wanted to see what producers had to do to get the end product.
Right.
So I worked with New Phase Music, G Vibes, myself and Mr. Stiley. We came together. I knew what I wanted. I knew the sound I wanted, and we worked on it. And then I found 3 phenomenal artists. My foster daughter is the lead singer, had the lead single, and then we had Harmony, and we also had Karen Slush, who's from Derby, an English artist. But unfortunately, I've just never had the bottle to put it out there, brand it, and put it out
there. So we are waiting to hear that. So I'm just going to wait.
A lot of the DJs are still pushing me. A lot of DJs, PD Cooley and Skip LeBee and DJ Tubbs are all saying, Lady TLC, you need to put it on the market. You need to put it out on the market.
I think you do. They sell you. The other thing is this, but I know that you're a DJ, and obviously I can see that you're a woman, but listen, how do you balance your work and sort of like social life? How do you balance the two things, home life? Can you balance it as a DJ?
Yes. Because when I'm in a venue working, I'm Lady TLC. And I always say, do you remember Beyonce said she had an alter ego?
Oh yeah, was it Sasha Fierce?
Sasha Fierce. Lady TLC is my alter ego.
Okay.
I'm Ingrid first and foremost. I'm mum, I'm nanny. I'm blessed that I have foster children.
We can't believe that you're a nanny. Sorry,
yes,
we're going to cut you off on that one.
Yeah, I am a nanny.
You look so young. How is that possible?
My oldest granddaughter is 11.
My goodness.
Biggest supporter. She criticises. No, nanny, you shouldn't play that. That's not good. She does my jingles for me.
Oh my goodness.
So yes, I'm blessed. I have 7 grandchildren.
Well, congratulations. And these youngsters are so in with the know. I know that.
Oh yeah.
So listen, in terms of letting off steam, how do you relax? What do you do in your spare time, to say?
Listen to music.
Gosh,
That's my spare time.
Okay.
I love music. I'm lucky in the respect that I have a beautiful family, a beautiful big family. So just as much as Lady TLC's supporting about reggae, my own personal wider family, we're into soca. So I do Notting Hill Carnival every year, and that's where I let my hair down, and I'm crazy. And
so were you at the carnival this year?
yes,
I
was
there this year.
Yeah, played with IDF, which is my
wow.
family's band.
That's amazing. So listen, if there was somebody trying to get into the music industry and wanting to be a DJ, could they contact you, or what advice would you give them?
They can contact
We've got
me.
to help the youngsters.
Yes, I've been very fortunate. I've had 2 apprentices with me. One young man called Daryl, and another young lady called Keisha. They've come with me, they've worked with me to program the show, they've been on the show with me as I'm delivering presenting my show on a Sunday, because I believe they wanted to know what it was like to be a DJ.
Yes.
And what was it all about, and they thought they'd get paid for it. I do what I do out of love. I don't get paid. I have some wonderful sponsors who sponsor my shows, but they don't sponsor me financially. They sponsor me in kind.
But don't they say it's like a passion? It's a passion, isn't it?
Yeah. And my mum's always said to me, one hand wash the other. So when they need something from me, I can give back. When I need something from them, they give back. I'm lucky that I've got Shoe Doctor James Shoe Care, who sponsors my show. So if I need any adverts done for any events, I can ask him to do my adverts for me. If he has any promotional stuff he needs doing, I'm there to host, or I'm there to.
I do like that. It. Helping each other in the community. Just final question.
Yeah.
Do you think that reggae music has changed?
Yes, it has.
Is it for the better?
No, it's for the worse. We have no. I'm very passionate about this, so maybe it's the wrong question you should have asked. I just feel that we don't have an infrastructure. When you look at a business, when you look at Sony EMI, or you look at Island Records, they have infrastructures.
Right.
Okay. Reggae has no infrastructure. We're all scrambling around, fighting against each other, not supporting. We all love what we do, but we need to come together as a collective, because together we could be a formidable force, but as an individual, you're weak.
I like what you're saying there.
And I think we need to have some sort of regulatory body, a reggae regulatory body. We need to
change things. And maybe put them back to where they were. And unfortunately, we're actually running out of time, but I think I could talk to you for hours, because music is fabulous.
Thank you.
You've been watching Ultravision TV. I'm Sandra Ewers, and I would like to thank Lady TLC for coming along to talk to us. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.